Welcome to Talk with Tara, the podcast where we dive into the bold, the funny, and the fascinating. I'm Tara, your host, bringing you unfiltered conversations on life, love, and everything in between. Hit that follow button so you're always in the loop. And now let's get started. Today, we are getting real about love and confidence in midlife with certified wellness coach and professional matchmaker, Erica Botoff. If you are ready to date with clarity and attract the right partner, this podcast is for you. But before we dive in, I have a quick ask that makes a huge difference. Please rate the show, subscribe, and leave a comment wherever you listen. Your feedback helps more women find these conversations. Follow me on Instagram at Talk with Tara Podcast for behind the scenes and daily tips. And I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at talkwithtarapodcast@gmail.com. So welcome to today's show. My guest, Ericka, blends heart, insight, and experience to help clients find meaningful, lasting love. And we all want love and that soulmate in our life. With a background in sociology and years in elite matchmaking, she brings a personalized and intuitive approach that helps people, men and women, connect in ways that feel aligned, supportive, and real. Ericka, welcome to my show.
Yay. So happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy to have you. You're so beautiful too. So that really helps because you embody a lot of feminine energy. And I think that a lot of many women, I shouldn't say that, like we're in the workforce and we're having to do it all and be moms and get shit done. And so sometimes we miss that feminine energy. So if you could, we're going to talk a little bit about getting into your feminine as well and to kind of keeping your masculine away while you're dating and getting out there. So we're going to start off with some questions. Becoming single in midlife is really hard. You've been married for so long and then you're out there again. And what are some things that women can do before they go on a date to really shift their mindset and succeed on the date and feel good on the date? Do you have any tips for women or what you give to your clients when they're like, okay, you're going to go out with Joe? This is how you should prepare yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do start with the physical, just the first impressions. And so we'll even talk about photos. You'd be surprised at the photos that we get.
Yeah.
So I really try to be clear about sending, what kind of photo should I send? Well, make sure it's just you in the photo. That's always important. You don't want to be standing next to maybe your sister, your best friend that's a 10.
Yeah.
And you're looking at like, oh, that's not her. This is her, so putting your best foot forward to smile. I said, show your biggest smile, highlight your eyes. If you have beautiful eyes, smile big with your eyes, mascara, do your hair, feel good about that photo and it's going to represent, right? So it starts there. It starts there, really making an impression, caring about your appearance, caring what you're putting out there for somebody to see. And then following it up, like you said, on a date, again, confidence is everything. Confidence is key. So where you feel maybe you're lacking and you're not quite confident, work on what that is to your best of your ability. So that when you show up, you've at least done the best you can and you can show up in a way that you feel good about instead of knowing like, well, I'm showing up, although and so it's in the back of your mind and people pick up on that energy.
Yeah, they do. Why is confidence so sexy? It is. Because even when you see a man, he doesn't have to be the best looking guy in the room. And I tell my listeners this, I'm like, you can be the most beautiful woman. And if you don't have confidence, that's not, maybe the guy's going to think you're hot for a second. He's going to talk to you. But if you don't have that confidence, you really don't care and you think you're so amazing. And you're amazing. You're an amazing person. If you don't have that confidence, they can sense it and men do not find that attractive. And I wonder what that is. Like confidence is so important.
It's really important. It's really important.
What do you think it is though? Why do you think it's like so sexy?
Why it's so sexy? Well, I mean, just taking it from my personal opinion, if I met somebody, right? If I met somebody the same person, say they're both 10s, and they both must, working on themselves, but one just doesn't quite know how to present themselves and you can just tell that maybe there's something there that's going to there's trauma there. Again, maybe they haven't worked on something that's going to show up. Right. And it's like you're repelling against that.
Yeah.
because you know that that energy is going to build a bridge kind of, like I said, repel you, a bridge that's not inviting, but is kind of guarded.
Yeah.
And I think if somebody shows up confidence and they're open, it allows you to feel open and allows that bridge to be free. And there's growth there rather than maybe there's this confidence isn't there. So it's going to prevent me from growing. You're going to get stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, I believe, is why it's so sexy. If somebody else is confident, and I'm confident, then we can be great together.
Yeah.
Rather than, okay, there's something there that's going to maybe pull me down or I can help him with, but we all know we can't fix anybody.
Right. That's true. That's so true. Okay. So I met these two ladies. I went to this party and I met these two ladies and they were like, my girlfriend's like, oh, come talk to these ladies about dating and give your advice. And she brought me over. And the first thing they asked me, and I'm going to ask you this, they're like, okay, well, what should we wear on a date? Should I wear what I'm wearing? And the woman was wearing like a black vest with black pants and she kind of looked businessy, and I, like I just said, I was very direct. I'm like, no, you should not wear that. You should be like what you're wearing today, Ericka. Feminine, I'm a little bit torn because if I'm going to go on some like online date and I don't want to waste my time. Like I'll wear my workout clothes. I'll make myself cute, but I'm not going to go totally out of my way only because it's a lot of effort. But if like a matchmaker was fixing me up and I kind of knew this person was vetted and I was ready to really date, and maybe I'm wrong, so just correct me if I'm wrong. I would get my hair, fix my hair and wear something sexy underneath. Like, what would your advice be for these ladies? Like, what do you wear? What do you look like? What should you do to get ready for a date?
So for dressing up, like you said, if it's maybe like an online date and you're not putting that much effort into it, that person's still going to pick up on that.
Okay.
So I still look at that and question, what message are you giving?
Okay.
So I feel like they could still pick up at them like, oh, she doesn't really care. This is just something to fill her Friday night with.
Right.
And if that is the message you want to give off, then you give it off. Does that make sense? Then do that. But if you're giving, I call that like maybe a mixed message. If you do show up and then you're wondering why he's not giving you the time or day or kind of being flaky, because he's probably assuming you are being flaky as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And then maybe you have another date or you're not taking it serious.
Okay.
So when we show up, how we show up is how we're wanting that other person to show up. And it's important to keep that throughout the dating process.
Okay.
Right? Again, like we talked about what you mentioned earlier about kind of being that 10, right?
Yeah.
If you want the 10, you need to show up for yourself for being a 10 to attract that.
Right. So how many women, like how many people do you meet that are really like, most people are average looking, they're not 10s. And a lot of people that we see online, are filtered and they're not really who they appear to be. What do you advise for somebody who's maybe an average looking male or female and they're not a 10? Like, what can they do to enhance the way they present themselves when they meet somebody?
Well, again, it has to go back to confidence. It really does. And if you don't have that confidence, you're just like, oh, I don't feel that well. What can we do to work on those things in your life to make you feel more confident? And there's nothing wrong with getting your hair cut, coloring your hair, getting the grays out of there, right?
Yes,
Let's get it colored. Oh, I see some grays. Would you feel 10 years younger if we go and get this colored? Get a fresh cut, maybe some new clothes. When's the last time you went shopping? What's going to help you feel the best? New makeup. Maybe go and get somebody to do your makeup. When's the last time you had a color check? Even myself the other day, I was like, I think I need to switch it up, right? The sun and the winter. And it's nice to refresh. It's nice to do things for yourself that's going to help you feel your best, whatever that is. Teeth whitening, right? Like, oh, what's right? Looking in the mirror going, when's the last time I took care of whitening my teeth? Those little things, eyebrows, eyelash. I know it sounds a lot, but it's what you invest in yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that confidence is going to show up. So if it's like you said, if she's a 5 and like, oh, I want to go on this date and I have an opportunity to go on this date, but how do I show up and feel like they're going to be attracted to me?
Yeah.
And so maybe work with a stylist, honestly. Work with
Yeah.
somebody who's not afraid to say, hey, we need to tweeze those eyebrows of yours, or we have the, or this or that, or have you
Yeah.
ever thought of, any enhancements, you don't have to, but whatever you're not comfortable with, there's options on how to bring the best of everybody's beauty out.
Yeah. And you hear about these like midlife men, they're having a midlife crisis and they start going to the gym and they start doing all these like dressing better and they start, dyeing their hair. I mean, men do it. So women should do it too. Like if you're newly single, take a look at yourself. And I think getting a stylist, I think that's really good advice. Get a stylist or go to somebody who's professional, who's a makeup artist or a hair person and really just kind of give yourself a makeover. I think that's really good advice. I love that. Okay. What are some mistakes, Erica, that women make on dates that you've heard your male clients be like, oh my God, she was hot, but like that is a nightmare date, and things that women should not do? Just say it
Yeah,
like it is, because I
I
know
will.
women want to know.
Yeah, so you should not do. Yeah. It's always best to keep your past to yourself.
Yes.
I'll say that. Keep the conversation about them.
Okay.
Ask questions, ask curious questions. And if they're not so comfortable talking about themselves, find interesting things to talk about, but not focused on yourself.
Okay.
It like gets, if they want to know, they'll ask.
Yeah.
And that's where you can lean in and express yourself, your feelings. And if they want to know about your past, how comfortable you are sharing, just be discerning when it comes to what you share. I think it's sexy to keep yourself somewhat private.
Yes.
Especially first date. Keep it playful, keep it light. I think it's, not sitting there quiet, but just opening up to, again, asking about them. That's really going to be an icebreaker, and it's going to show that you're interested and, attentive.
Yeah.
So, I say keep less is more.
So I would say, ladies, if you're on that date and you're about to go out, think about some questions that you do want to ask the person. Do you like what you do for a job? Yeah, I like it. Oh, what is it that you like about your job? I like this. What are some things you don't like about it? I don't like this. Where are some interesting places you've traveled to? And then you could talk about maybe travel or cities you've been to or culture, and just take it away from like, oh, I had this shitty ex and he took half my money and my kids hate him. And nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody.
No.
And we don't want to hear it from the men either.
No, we don't.
Both ways.
Yeah. We don't want to hear that. I have a friend, and he was telling me that his friend was giving him this advice to talk about his past in this way. And my girlfriend and I both were like, no, you just say, I'm amicable with my ex. I respect her a lot. It didn't work out. And we have decided to go separate ways. You don't need to give a whole story about your past. Just keep it brief. And you don't need to talk about your childhood trauma.
Nope.
Nobody wants to hear that either. That's like once you're maybe, 6 months into your relationship, we don't want to hear about your childhood trauma. That is not our business, and keep that to yourself. That's private. I think femininity is being elusive and mysterious, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you give us some rules? One of the things I tell my listeners is the rules. I know people don't like playing games, and they say, but the rules apply. And I that's my belief, but I'm curious in this modern world, what you think, Erica. I think like, don't sleep with the guy right away. Just let him pay, let him open the door, let him park, let him be a gentleman, sit back, and don't be bossy. What's your opinion? Have you seen women make this mistake?
Everything you said, I love. I agree with. Absolutely. 100%. So, I mean, some of our women, our women that we have as clients, they're so successful, professional successful. So they actually can come across a little intimidating.
Right.
So I see that, but that's nobody's fault. And I say, that's again, the man's issue. And so I love that's like, show up with your Ferrari. If you have a Ferrari. Show up with your power.
Huh?
Be in power, but still be feminine.
Okay.
Right? There's that balance. And I think it's finding that balance of being your feminine and allowing to still be successful and keep your power, but to show a man that you can still be feminine, you can still be attentive to them and nurturing at the same time, carry your own weight.
Right. Okay.
Right. And wait, what was your question? Maybe I didn't even directly answer that.
No, the question is like, how do we just stay more feminine? Like, how do these women who are used to kind of calling the shots, what are some tips for them to really lean back and not be masculine?
Exactly. So still keep your power. Don't give that away. But let a man be a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him pay, even if you maybe make more. It's not about that. And that's why I don't love rules. I'm a rule breaker by heart anyways.
Okay.
Actually, I don't love rules. I don't love that what works for one person might not work for another, right. And like, here's how you do it. And here's the games or the rules. It's like, no. Really lean into your heart.
Okay.
And what feels right for you. Right. And it's like, I'm going to be a strong woman and I want to attract somebody who sees that in me. Sees the real you. And also can be feminine and let the man feel his power. It's that dance.
Yeah. What do you do if one of your lady clients says like, oh, I went on this date. It was so great. We had so much fun. And I really thought he liked me, but I haven't heard from him. It's been like 5 days. I haven't heard from him. Erica, should I text him? What should I do? What do women do in those? I hear that a lot. So curious what you would advise.
We love to get feedback after the date from both the client and the candidate. It's so important and imperative. And we do see some trends, that same person that maybe gets what they call ghosted or, doesn't want that second date. We get to follow up. So we have raw data, like information that we can look at. And it's interesting that the same information and feedback is this, it continues to be the same for these people. We then very nicely and politely, but firmly allow our clients to say, hey, here's some things that keep showing up. We would love for you to work with one of our coaches so that you can get better. Yeah. We want to help you guys, our clients, be better at dating and to find your love. And if these things are showing up, we want you to see them so that you can look deeper into it and we can work with you. Well, our coaches can work with you to resolve that. So staying open to feedback is imperative if you really want to.
Right. But should the woman, like, if the guy doesn't call, shouldn't she just be like, well, he's just not that into me? I mean, if a guy doesn't want to call, he's not into you, right? Don't you think?
I wouldn't assume anything, but I would also fall back and let whatever's going to happen.
Yeah. That's really good. Because a lot of women I've noticed have this anxious attachment style and they really feel like, oh, I had this great date. And the better the date and the less they hear from the guy, the more they want to hear from the guy. So, and they become obsessed. Like, oh, I haven't heard. And I would just say, I just say, well, if you haven't heard, then just let it go.
Let it go. Have faith. Have faith that if he's meant to be, he will call.
Yeah.
Right? Just let it be. Keep showing up for who you are. Don't let anybody's non-existent presence change your heart.
Yeah.
But keep believing in yourself. Keep believing that person's out there and they'll show up.
Yeah.
But don't chase something that's not meant to be.
Yeah. Don't chase something that's not meant to be. What are some things that you hear your male clients say? Like, be honest. Like, do they say things like, are they really blunt? Like, oh, she has to have a hot body. She has to be athletic. She has to have a beautiful face. Like, what do they say? I'm just so curious. What are men not? Yeah.
All kinds of things, all of it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times we'll get really into the personality. personality of a person, kind, sweet, she walks into a room, there's a presence about her. She carries a certain energy that's attractive and, like
Mm.
these wonderful things, and then when it gets into the more physical part of it, I'll ask that. I'll say, well, what does attractiveness look like to you outside
Uh-huh.
of personality? If somebody walked into a room, 4 girls walked into a room, where does your eyes go? So I like to ask
Oh,
that question.
uh-huh. What do they say? What are the most common things that you hear? I'm curious.
Common things they say. I mean, they tend to want, believe it or not, they tend to want to go back to the personality. They'll start
Mm.
saying, well, she'll just stand out from the rest of them. They
Mm-hmm.
do say, I liked her to have her own style. So not following trends, um, like her own, like whatever fits her personality. Um, like creative side, right? Like they can
Yeah.
tell that she's got her own creative side. She can carry her own. She
Yeah.
doesn't need to follow. She doesn't need me to lead. So it's something that, and you can see that when somebody walks in a room, right? You can,
Can.
again, that confidence, you
Mm-hmm.
can, somebody that's going to stand out. What do they look like to you?
Right.
And those are some things. So I think just being yourself, I think being genuine, being genuinely nice to others,
Uh-huh.
you can tell right away how they're treating somebody.
I
Um,
hear that a lot. I hear that it's really important, women, ladies, that you have to work on not being bitchy to the wait staff. I mean, that is just not cool. You need to,
not
yeah,
attractive.
that's not attractive. And if you're bitchy to the wait staff, you need to look at yourself. There's something, you have some kind of anger issue going on. I really believe that. So, and men, that is a big turnoff, big no-no. They watch what you're doing. If I don't like what I'm eating and excuse me, you need to remove this or, you just have to be nice to everybody. Kindness, it sounds like a big thing for
Kindness. Yeah.
men. They
You got
say
it.
kindness, right, is very important.
Yeah. And can go
Yeah.
with the flow and, yeah, just has a big, the biggest thing, like a big sense of just who you are. They need to know
Hmm.
who they are, you
Yeah.
know,
And
especially.
do you think this, what is your, and I want you to be honest, like, you can disappoint the ladies out there if this is the case. Are men, most of your clients, are they always looking for younger women? I mean, what's your sense? Or are
They
they
are.
just like, oh, she's 50, she's out?
Yeah. Yes. Here's what I'm finding.
Uh-huh.
And you talked a little bit earlier about them being like midlife crisis. And I'm finding that men they're not necessarily going through these major midlife crises like they used to back in the day. And it could be because they are working on themselves and they are buying what they want and they're treating themselves better and they're not having these big, drastic crisis,
Yeah.
right? So, that being said, I'm finding that men will, maybe after their divorce, second divorce, first divorce,
Hmm.
whatever, they tend to want that younger. They want their ego
Yep.
built. They might not want to do the work. They don't want to
Hmm.
face that. And so they're looking for maybe a fix. They're looking for fun. That tires out. We
Hmm.
find that tires out after a while. So it's kind of like their midlife crisis in that way, or not even just a crisis that they're going through. And they'll go and have fun. And then after a while, they're like, you know what? I'm wanting somebody to connect with.
Uh-huh.
I'm ready to actually connect. I'm
Okay.
ready to find someone more my own age and to settle down with, and that you can actually relate to,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
that there's anything wrong with the age difference, but
Right.
when it's 20 plus years, it's fun for a while, but they always come back to being realistic, I would say.
Yeah. And you're not the first person who has said this. This is exactly what I'm hearing. I'm hearing at first they want the young fun and it's great, but then reality sets in. I went to dinner with a friend of mine. He's a really good looking guy, 56, 57. I'm not sure. Very successful. He's single. And I said, what are you looking for? Are you looking for like a 25-year-old, 30-year-old? Like, and he's like, no, I mean, I don't care if they're my age because nowadays women can be 50 and look amazing. There's so much, like, women take care of themselves. I just want someone who's kind and sweet and, um, ready to be loved, that's what he said, ready to be loved. And, so ladies, like if you're in your 50s you can look amazing. You don't have to look like the way 50 used to look 20 years ago. 50s are like the new 40s. So, I mean, I see some women, Erica, online who are 68 and they look incredible, like their bodies and like, it's
Impressive.
crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's such inspiration.
It's
Such
crazy.
inspiration.
Yeah. It's inspirational. I actually interviewed a woman who was 67. She had a body of a 25-year-old. It was incredible. I mean, she takes such great care of herself. So, and I'm not exaggerating. She literally had a body. She was all muscular. She looked great in a bikini. She was like no fat. And now with GLP-1s, like if you microdose them, it's easier to lose weight. It's not so hard to keep the weight off. You know, there's hormone replacement therapy. There's extensions. There's like eyelash extensions. There's so fillers, Botox. There's so much you can do.
So many options. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. If you're open,
Yeah.
let's go. If there's something
Yeah.
that's bothering you, fix it. Everyone else
Yeah.
is doing it. What's stopping you?
Yeah. And ladies, you may think this sounds really superficial, but if you're looking for a successful, attractive man who's got his stuff together, I'm sorry. Like if you don't think they're going to be looking for somebody who is attractive and puts herself together and they're looking for someone who's 40 pounds overweight and has to wear elastic pants and doesn't care about their hair and their teeth or whatever, you're wrong. I mean, you can be yourself, you can be natural, but then don't expect to find somebody who's a 10. Be realistic. I mean, and I know that sounds harsh and it sounds superficial, but it's the way life is. Right?
Yeah. And if you're comfortable in your sweats and, like if you're comfortable with who you are and being overweight and you're a happy, truly happy person, that's amazing. But yes, let's find somebody who also is in that same situation.
Exactly.
You're going to have the more successful life.
Yeah, exactly.
Not wanting to change them, they're not going to want to change you. You're going to find love where you're supposed to.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
You can find that. I mean, you can be yourself and you can find someone who's your physical match, but you just have to be realistic. I meet too many women who have this list of like 20 things. And one of them is being tall. And that really limits you because there are men who are not tall, who are fabulous. But you want a tall, handsome, rich man who has a private plane. Like, good luck. Good luck to you.
And it's nice to you and loves you. And
is adoring and sends you flowers. And I don't know. Did you see that movie, The Materialist?
Of course.
Yeah. That was a good movie. So I highly recommend that movie. And is that kind of, I heard that it actually captures the matchmaker's life pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah? Absolutely. It was pretty dead on. Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it.
It was so good. And there's a thing in there, ladies, if you haven't seen it, about height for men. Like what we struggle with, well, men struggle with height. So that was very interesting. I love that movie.
It really was. I didn't see that coming.
I highly recommend that movie. Okay, let's talk about online dating and matchmaking. A lot of people can't afford matchmaking. It's expensive. And they may have to go the online dating route. So for those who are online dating, any tips for them?
Well, I will start with letting you know that yes, matchmaking is more pricey, especially for the client, but for the candidates, it's free, right? It's free. We want to find our clients the best of what they're looking for. So we'd love to interview, really love to interview and see if we have matches out there. So just know that, you guys, that if you're a candidate, it's free for you and you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. So there's that. So just know that. And you can reach out to me. I would love to interview. But for the dating apps, some people are still on, we still have clients that are still kind of on a dating app. They're still wanting us to vet and find them their perfect match. But at the same time, right, they're still on those apps. Yeah. Are they having success? No. That's why they're with us,
Right.
So it works for, and I think there's a certain amount of people out there. works for.
Uh-huh.
And some people have had their love. They've found success on dating apps. Those are
Yeah.
true stories. Those are absolutely true stories. So I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I just think what happens is your personal pictures are out there for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm.
Your neighbor's going to know you're on there, which no big deal, but everybody from church or, your life is on display in some way. It's not private, it's public.
Right. It's
And
public.
that's for me the difference between matchmaking and the
Mm-hmm.
apps. It's that confidentiality that you have with the matchmaker that knows all about you, that's keeping it to herself and allowing to get to know you. And then really, like I said, vetting those candidates that are coming in to find that, where when you're doing it on your own, you never know. You don't know if those pictures are even real, right? I mean, it's true. Yeah, I say he's 6 foot and most of them show up. This is what I hear out there.
Yeah.
And they're like 5'6",
Yeah.
Not again, like it's a big, but if that's something that's important to you. So the apps are, they can have a bad rep, some of them, and some of them are actually really good. Maybe the ones you pay for, right? And have a little bit more background checks, but
yeah. Okay.
They're out there. They're becoming more of a fad or less than, and matchmaking is becoming more productive, more successful.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I say if it's working for you, continue. If you're having fun with it, it's a tool. It's a tool.
Okay. It's another tool.
Yeah.
And, this is a good question. And we didn't discuss this question, but I'm going to ask anyway. How important is it to be transparent what you're looking for so let's say you've gone out with a guy 3 times and then you're not sure, you're like, if he wants, like you think he's dating like 3 other women or something. And you say something like, hey, I want to get married again. And I'm interested in a serious relationship. And if you're not, that's okay. But then I think we should move on. I mean, how transparent can you be when you're dating? So you're not wasting your time.
Yeah, I think it's important to be pretty straightforward with what you're looking for in the beginning. Maybe not on the first date. Get to know somebody, let them get to know you. But also not scare them away. Not, like that first or second day, be like, okay, well, I'm really needing to get married here soon. And, I'm drinking my eggs and I'm wanting to get pregnant, start a family tomorrow. I'm this. It can really push people back.
Okay.
Understandably, right? Understandably. But it's important to say, I'm kind of looking for my forever person right now. I'm older. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste anybody else's time. So just know that going into this is something that I'm serious about. And so if this is something you're feeling, please let me know right away, and if we need more time to figure that out, let's take that time to figure that out. But just know my intentions are for something real. And I'm totally willing to check it out with you and feel it out if you are too. Like there's definitely a conversation that I feel that's necessary.
Yeah.
In order for that other person to either feel, I wouldn't mind exploring that with you. I like you.
Right. What about sex?
Sex? I say sex needs to be on the back burner until there is that, not just conversation, but there is that connection where you feel safe. Knowing they're in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not just from them saying they're in it, but feeling it, them showing up for you in a way that nobody has showed up for you like that in a minute if you've been dating. How does he separate and stand out from the rest?
Right.
You're going to feel that. You're going to know that. There's going to be that trust. And to have the conversation, like, are you seeing other people? I think it's important to say, no, absolutely not. Like I said, I'm exploring this with you because I like you.
Right.
And you're going to feel more likely to explore that intimacy, right? And
exactly.
If that's the next level, that's the next level. But there has to be that exploration of compatibility and trust before I believe that you should be sexual. I just do. That's my personal opinion. I can't speak for everybody out there, but it's something that I feel is really important.
Yeah. And I think if you want to have sex just because you want to have sex, then know that's what you're doing, but don't expect the guy to be your boyfriend after you're having sex
Right.
if you don't know for sure. I think you have to have the talk. Like, yeah, I'm really attracted to you. Sure, I'd love to have sex with you, but I'm just not interested in having sex without commitment. And you don't have to commit to me, mister. There's no commitment here. But when we are intimate, I definitely want to be in a committed or monogamous relationship. I think you're allowed to say that.
Absolutely. You should say it.
And
You got to
yeah,
stay
and
in your power and be
yeah,
feminine. Stay in your power. And this is my power. This is what I have. And I want to share that with you
yes,
if this is our destiny to stay together and do this journey together. And we might
exactly.
not know that maybe in 6 months, but for now, we're committed to that.
Right.
There's that commitment. There's like step by
Exactly.
step that you can take and keep, like I said, keep your power while still being feminine
Yes. Yeah.
and
And just
sharing.
don't be over eager, I think, too. Have your own life. Be busy, have your own life. Like, don't be ready to go on a date at a drop of a hat. Um, I think it's important to love yourself and have boundaries and respect for yourself. I think that is staying in our feminine. And the man will chase if he wants you. You will know when a man is interested in you. Okay. So, any success stories you can share?
I mean, there is engagements happening all the time,
Yeah.
right? And weddings. And it's just so exciting. It's so exciting. It fills me up. It fills all of our team up to have these stories. I haven't had any success stories on my end where I've been invited to a wedding yet.
Uh-huh.
Yet. That's
Yeah.
coming now. I know it's coming. I feel it. So I think that's going to be the most rewarding part of it.
Yeah. That's exciting. Well, this has been really great. Okay. Tell people, Erica, how they can get a hold of you if they're interested in learning more about matchmaking or maybe they're a right candidate and they want to be interviewed by you to be in your database.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Man or woman, right? Male
of
or
course,
female. Yeah.
absolutely both. Or if you're interested in being a client too, of course. But yeah, candidates free for everybody, complimentary, confidential. But Facebook is the best place for me. That
Okay.
way I can really get to know you. I can see your photos and, it's more personalized than just like
Okay.
a text or an email. So if you reach out to me, Erica Botoff on Facebook, just
Okay.
send me, friend me, send
Yeah.
me a little message, and then we can start communicating and getting to know each other that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want a matchmaker who can really go out there and, vet people for you, you tired of doing the online, Erica can do that for you. Erica, I had a last question before we end. What about younger men? Are women asking for younger men? And is there an interest, younger men and older women nowadays?
Not in the matchmaking industry that I've seen.
Okay. Yeah.
And it probably goes both ways, where
Yeah.
maybe that woman went through a divorce and was like, "Ooh, this is so nice to be with the younger men."
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
But
Yes.
when they're paying, especially to be a client, they want to find like-minded men that
Okay.
also are successful and that are really ready to settle down and meet in the middle and have just an amazing life.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. I think I'm seeing it a lot in like
Just the dating
movies
world.
and pop media. And I'm also hearing about it from friends, like women who have been newly divorced
Yeah,
going, having
sure.
younger men. Yeah. Yeah. Their energy matches. She wants to have a lot of sex. The younger man's willing, to have a lot of sex. And then they get tired of each other and then they move on to something more serious. So that
Yep,
makes a
there
lot
you
of sense.
go.
Well, thank you so much, Erica. This has been really great. I really enjoyed interviewing you. And I will put Erica's contact information in the show notes. And I hope you really learned a lot today. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Talk with Tara. If you loved today's episode, please follow the show and share it with a friend. Stay tuned. There's so much more to talk about. See you next time.